Hello, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to a live post here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. And I am asking you, our supporters, to officially welcome and say hello to Cheetah Erin on a live post. Hey, everyone. Today is Friday, and a wonderful Friday indeed, because we get to see Erin enjoying her new free-roaming habitat in her new forever home here at the Wildcat Sanctuary for the first time on a live post. And Erin is the subject of conversation today, so looking forward to not only spending time with this spotted, beautiful cheetah, but also hopefully garnering some sponsorship for Erin. Miss Erin doesn't have any sponsors, so we'll talk about our sponsorship program. We'll talk about how you can play a major role in Erin's life, and of course all good things Wildcat Sanctuary on this wonderful Friday. Hey Rosie P, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone. Hey Marcy Sanborn, good almost afternoon where you are. Kelly Anderson saying hi to Sassy Erin. Let me zoom in on little Sassy Erin. Sassy indeed, and sassy in a great way. We love to see that kind of strong-willed nature from a cat who just went through a lot of transition. She had a cross-country road trip. She obviously had a complete change in environment, having lived at an AZA-accredited zoo, and now here, retired from the SSP, now at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Lots been going on, pretty lady. So to see her, this would be day 3. At the end of today, it'd be her 3rd day of living wild at heart. Already on day 3, our girl Erin's nice and relaxed and taking in some shade and taking in that sweet, sweet northern Minnesota air that we have here in Sandstone. Let's see who else is here, Miss Erin. Hey, Athena I, saying hi to Miss Erin. Bella Rourke doing some tagging. Kendra Ditto's here, saying hi to Erin and the TWS family. Ellen F. getting excited about Miss Erin. Hope everybody is enjoying their Friday. We made it to the end of the week, everyone. It's certainly been a busy week at the Wildcat Sanctuary. When is it not a busy week, Miss Erin? But Tammy encapsulating a lot of what has been happening here at TWS. Obviously, Erin's rescue happening this week. We have some construction going on that's been a little tumultuous. We knew that little power outages were coming here and there, but still, it takes a lot when a lot of us are using internet and things like that to operate throughout the day. Kendra Ditto is asking, does Erin have full access now? She does, and so I'll get to updating things on Erin. So right now, if you would have tuned into a live post earlier this week, you would have learned that Beauty, I'm in Beauty's old habitat right now. So I'm right on the corner of Cougar Cove, the Cougar Cove gates, right on the adjacent side of this habitat. You can see Andrew, who's laying some shade cloth for Beauty, who is now in Baby's old habitat, Baby who has been moved up to quarantine. So I'm in an empty yard. Miss Erin has full access to what would be Ramsey's old yard, to give everyone some context, and of course she has the cheetah boys right on the other side of her. But here is Erin's space. She obviously has that long shared wall where she'll get to see Kitu and Lavani. As of now, from some of the observations caretakers have made, it really does seem like, she doesn't mind people that much. She's been great about being curious about her space and really kind of snooping around and doing the patrolling that we see the cheetah boys do a lot. But admittedly, she has certainly been kind of glancing over at Kitu and Lavani's habitat across the way a lot. So she seems to have a little bit, higher level of concern for the cheetah boys, which is why later today, under close caretaker supervision, they're going to be giving the cheetah boys access and just ensuring that Erin doesn't get herself too worked up, that obviously the geriatric cheetah boys don't get themselves too worked up, and so on and so forth. So certainly something to keep updated on. But I think that's a great segue, Erin. Something to keep updated on. Well, we eventually will update on social media how the interaction went between Miss Erin, Kitu, and Lavani. That's happening later today. But I'm going to be here taking pictures. Olivia's going to be here taking photos. And what do we do with that documentation? Well, we send it off to sponsor parents. And as it stands, we welcomed Erin earlier this week. And as it stands, Erin has 0 sponsor parents. And nonetheless, that's not to detract and say that you guys aren't pouring out generosity for the cats left and right. But just to point out that Erin doesn't have any sponsors, and that sponsorship is a great way, that we always say for you to connect with one of our rescues, for you to directly, financially help one of those rescues specifically. And, feel that you're doing something bigger than yourself, that you're here extending your support to a cat who's living a compassionate life in a forever home. Our sponsorship program is a wonderful thing, and I think that there's more kind of untangible things like I was talking about there, but there's obviously the tangible is those updates. You want to see photos of Erin. You want to hear about how she's doing, and you might want to be the first to hear about how she's doing, for example, of how this interaction goes with Kitu and Lavani along their shared wall. That's something sponsors are going to be hearing about first, and one thing that is certainly awesome about that is being able to kind of collect the good TWS gossip on the cat that you care so much about first, beforehand, before it goes up on social media. Miss Erin here is considered a big cat, and to sponsor a big cat, it is no small chunk of change. To those who I know out there who are watching this post who sponsor big cats, there's some who sponsor multiple big cats. It's so generous. It costs $600 a year to sponsor one big cat. Fortunately, you are able to break up that payment into monthly payments. It obviously can be paid in one lump sum too, but $600 is a big chunk of change. But put it into perspective, just to care for one big cat, it's going to cost about $10,000 a year. That's going to include their habitat upkeep, that's going to include their food, that's going to include their medical and veterinary costs, which is why we often say when we're plugging our sponsorship program is that it takes more than one sponsor. So that really gives some perspective and scale as to, Erin, you have 0 sponsors, and that doesn't mean that people don't love you as much as Erin. And again, like I mentioned, that doesn't mean to diminish all the generous ways that people give, but just wanting to give some encouragement, throw it out into the ether, into the social media sphere, and encourage anyone maybe who's watching this post and has been thinking about taking one of our Wildcat residents under their wing as a sponsor parent. Maybe this is your final push, or maybe you can share this post. Maybe you can share this post and someone out there can learn about our sponsorship program, learn about how special it is to get in touch with one of our rescues in this unique way, and then obviously for them to understand how beneficial it is for the cats. We're a nonprofit here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Everything you see, from new rescues coming here to the spacious habitats to the expert veterinary care we offer, it's all afforded through your support, which is so amazing. And sponsorship also kind of making a big part of just whole Wild at Heart mosaic here, all those small pieces that collect together to make the TWS tapestry, if you will. We'll call it that, Erin. We'll call it that. Let's get into the comments, pretty lady. And I have kudos to anyone who can count the spots on Cheetah Erin. You get your kudos for this Friday. Tanya Toner saying I shared this post. Thank you for that. Maria P pointing out that $10,000 a year cost. You'd think it'd be more than that. Truth to tell, that number was one that was kind of calculated probably about 5 to 10 years ago. So that has certainly inflated with, well, the cost of everything. Everybody's buying groceries to, anything these days, the cost has inflated. So I think getting an accurate number on that would exceed $10,000. So that's a valid point, Maria P. Only kind of making the argument stronger. So thank you for that. Joy Beans spreading the blessings. Thank you for that. Faith Warner getting excited about wanting to sponsor King Leo. Means you have both Taras and Leo under your sponsor wing, and of course the office cats. Faith, very generous. Thank you for that. Marcy Sanborn, I bet Erin certainly is thinking, what is this guy yapping about over here? Well, we're just talking about you, pretty lady, of course. And Erin is sitting right here in kind of the front portion of her habitat. Erin is going to be living in our Cougar Cove area. She has Kitu and Lavani right on the other side of her. As it stands right now, I am in an empty habitat. Beauty is over right on the corner there. They're still putting up a shade cloth on Beauty's habitat, just because obviously there's a hallway for the habitat that I am now that leads into the central animal building. Beauty was apparently getting a little overzealous about Miss Erin, and Erin was getting pretty overzealous about Beauty. So, as you guys know, wanting to just make a little adjustment for a big outcome, not wanting either of these cats to be too frazzled. But Erin's turned that lovely head of hers around a couple times, and I hope you guys have got some glimpses of that beautiful cheetah mug that she has. And cheetahs really are obviously strikingly beautiful cats. Miss Erin has the patented teardrops of the cheetah. She obviously has those non-retractable claws. Cheetahs are the only big cat to have non-retractable claws, kind of acting as cleats, just like a football player would wear, a soccer player, baseball player. And then, of course, those beautiful long legs that her wild counterparts are using to make those long strides, getting up to speeds of 60 miles an hour. Holy cow, Erin, that is so incredible. That's, one thing I always like looking at is, obviously with our residents here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, they're wild. And I like looking at how Mother Nature endowed these cats with, the different tools and equipment to be kind of the kings and queens of their domain. Pretty darn cool, Miss Erin. And I saw someone commenting on your teddy bear ears. Apparently you have teddy bear ears, And I see those ears turned my direction, and they're listening to the paparazzi here. Welcome, everyone. If you're just joining us, we are having a blast hanging out with Cheetah Erin. This is her live post debut. Miss Erin arrived to the Wildcat Sanctuary earlier this week. She is a retired cheetah from the Species Survival Program. She was living at an AZA-accredited zoo. At now 10 years old, she has retired from the SSP and is here at the Wildcat Sanctuary to live out a compassionate life in her forever home. And we've been talking Erin, and we've been hoping to gain some sponsorship for Erin. Sponsorship is just one of the many ways that you can contribute to doing what we do here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, providing a forever home for these cats, and but on a little bit more of an intimate level, where you're sponsoring a cat like Erin directly. You're receiving updates on Erin directly, and you know that your support is going right to her and is making just that much of a difference in her life here, which is amazing. And for Erin, she is a big cat, and $600 is a big chunk of change, and something that that's how appreciative we are, is we acknowledge that. It takes a lot to care for 100 plus rescued cats, and for so many of you to want to step up and help us do that, it makes us feel awesome. So thank you to those who are considering taking Erin under your wing. Thank you to those who have shared this post. And again, it's going to be about $600 a year. That can be broken up into monthly payments. It's going to be about $50 a month, if my math is not mistaken here. And Erin, she says, I would certainly appreciate it. And I sure do appreciate it too, Miss Erin. See someone asking, how much does she weigh? That's a really good question. I can tell you outright that she's definitely smaller than both the boys. And if I could hazard a guess. Hey, Teresa, from afar, how much do Kitu and Lavani weigh?
They probably weigh about 110, 120.
Yeah, so Kitu and Lavani are at about 110, 120 pounds. So that's even, less than I was going to guesstimate, which is why I always consult a professional. I had to ask Teresa over my shoulder here. So I would say that maybe she's kind of clocking in right at that 100-pound range, maybe even 90. But I'm sure it's maybe listed on her vet records when she arrives, so I can get some steadfast info on Miss Erin's weight, and we'll respond accurately in the comments. Bella Rourke, are you trying to take on my challenge of counting Erin's spots? I was wanting to kind of challenge everyone, giving them their daily kudos for the day. Wahid checking in from Indonesia. How awesome. Glad to have you, Wahid. Thanks for joining us live at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Any physical things on Erin that make her even more beautiful? That's a good question, Tonya. I think, obviously Erin is beautiful at face value, as with all of our rescues. But I think I'm just looking forward to kind of learning some of the learning more about the physical characteristics of Erin and kind of what sets her apart from the cheetah boys. So I'll have to answer that question at a later time. Belinda D asking, have the boys seen her yet? And Tammy gave a nice update on this during her Wildcat wrap-up yesterday, and they have. Erin was given kind of limited access to her yard, not yesterday, but the day before, and the boys saw her, and, it was kind of just, what you would expect. Erin was, a little nervous, a little uncomfortable, a little upset, and the boys were wanting to take advantage of that, and so we obviously kind of separated everyone, or they're already in two different habitats too, for that matter, but we're able to kind of bring the cheetah boys away in their habitat, and Erin was able to come inside. Yesterday, Erin had her habitat all to herself. The boys had limited access to their yard and shift yard, and then today, we will be kind of putting some finishing touches on some blinds on Beauty's side of Erin, and maybe just double checking some things on the boys' side of Erin, and then she will be seeing them again today, which was a great kind of segue originally into me talking about our sponsorship program and how sponsors are privy to updates of exactly what's going to be happening with Erin today. Kitu and Lavani sponsors most likely will see some of the updates that are going out regarding Erin and Erin's interaction with them. So if you'd like to join in on that and obviously do a very generous thing of taking Erin under your wing as a sponsor cat, that's an awesome thing to do, and we thank you for that. It's a good circle into that, Miss Erin, Because there are some exciting things happening in your life today. And we'll eventually share with social media, But it's cool that we kind of develop a pipeline for that too, Miss Erin. Because we know there's people out there who do a lot to support you, and we want to acknowledge that. And ultimately, it's really been, she's been really awesome about people. And, it hasn't been, cooing or chirping and running up to us at the fence. But as you can see, she's been slow blinking. She's certainly aware that I'm talking. You don't see her flapping her tail or anything like that. She's not licking her lips or trying to self-soothe. So nice to see that she's comfortable by my presence, and makes me look forward to seeing this type of pace and comfortability with her, with the boys. I have high expectations, pretty lady. I've kind of been zoomed in on Miss Erin here, but she's hanging out right in the front portion of her habitat. She's got this large free-roaming space that leads up to her central animal building. Erin already has one of those cool cheetah doors cut into her room for her. Obviously, Erin's a little bit larger than something like a cougar or a lynx, some of the other cats that have inhabited Cougar Cove here. You're a little bit taller, pretty lady. You have those very gorgeous long legs. And so Erin needs a little bit taller of a doorway. So she's already got a special doorway fitted for her, just like the boys do. And we saw that straw bed, always a favorite amongst the cheetahs, is that straw bed that she has been loving. Caretaker is keeping it fluffed and fresh for her. And it looks like you're loving some fresh air too. Kendra Ditto saying that beautiful face, beautiful indeed. Thank you for the stars, Ellen French. I've been missing a lot of stars here. We're at 4,000 stars. Yowzer! 1 star equaling 1 cent. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. 4,000 stars. I very much appreciate that. And if anyone's maybe given a gift on this post, I thank you for that as well. And please, 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 if anyone has gone as far as to sign up to sponsor Erin, please let yourself be known. I would love to give you a shout out. Obviously, understand if you don't want that public social media shout out as well. But I'll give you a quiet thank you and my deepest gratitude right here and right now. So there you go. Lots of cheetah love here, Miss Erin. Lots of cheetah love. That's a good question. Susie Henry asking, does she talk, or is it still too early to tell? I personally have not heard her chirp or coo like we hear Kitu and Lavani do. And I have been there for feeding just once, but that was on her first day. So she probably very much wasn't up to chirping or cooing. So we'll have to find out if she's just as vocal as Kitu and Lavani. We'll still love you, nevertheless, pretty lady, if you're not as chatty as those two. But maybe today, we'll see if she exchanges some type of vocalizations. That's not a huff or a hiss. But time will tell on that one. Maria P pointing out how her legs aren't as long as the boys, and that's correct. She's definitely shorter and just overall smaller in stature than Kitu and Lavani. Dun, da, da, da. I'll tell you what, it's kind of been a lot of Erin talk here today, but I did see a Lloyd, Fiona, and Bruno playdate unfold right in front of me for the first time. Tammy also mentioned that, which I'm going to interject on myself. If you're not already watching the Wildcat wrap-ups that happen every single week, Tammy gives, Tammy, the executive director and founder of the Wildcat Sanctuary, she gives thorough updates on everything that's been happening at the Wildcat Sanctuary, everything that's going to be happening, and so on and so forth. And she's been giving updates on, just like I did today, she actually gave an update on what it was like when Erin saw Kitu and Lavani. She was giving an update on Lloyd and Fiona and Bruno and what their playdates have been like. So anyways, back to my stories. I got to see the beginning of a playdate this morning, and it was awesome. It made me smile. I think that Fiona was watching from afar, as I would expect her to do, but Bruno and Lloyd, rather, were pretty much playing tag with one another. One would kind of, bounce and leap and bound through the tall grass and then kind of sit down for a second. The other would come and join, and then vice versa. Bruno would go leaping and bouncing, and then back to Lloyd leaping and bouncing. So that was the first time I was able to see that. Darn it, was it hard to catch those leaping and bounces, those leaps and bounces on my camera, but I was able to kind of capture some of what I think is going to be a pretty solid friendship between those two, and I can only hope Fiona is going to join in on that as well. Happy Friday, everyone. If you're just joining us, we are hanging out with cheetah Erin. We are giving her all of our love, as this is our first time we've seen her on a live post. We're talking sponsorships and how you can be a part of Erin's life as a sponsor parent. And of course, giving a few sanctuary updates and just enjoying time with our supporters who do so much for us. You can see that's Teresa and Andrew putting the finishing touches on a blind going in Beauty's yard, which also is a good indicator that we're going to be wrapping up soon, because I don't want to be holding the caretakers back. I have a busy day today, and I want to make sure that they get it all done. I'd rather be a help than a hindrance, Miss Erin. But it is the weekend, everyone, and next week is going to be a happening week at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Tuesday is Taras's vasectomy. Taras will be getting his vasectomy. Dr. Andrew Kushner, one of the Wildcat warriors who helped get Taras and the other 3 Ukraine Lions to Sanctuary here at TWS, will be here in the house, which will be wonderful to see. And, hey, it's just going to be a lot going on. And also one of our witness protection cats has a veterinary exam next week. So even a lot happening behind the scenes that you won't even be able to participate in, unfortunately, due to our witness protection program. But always funny how there's a lot that I can talk about and then a lot that I can't talk about. But that's just the nature of rescue sometimes in our witness protection program. But Miss Erin, I had a wonderful time today, and I hope everyone had a wonderful time spending, really some peaceful moments with you. I think it's been wonderful to see her kind of not really paying attention to me. She turned her head around a few times and gave us some slow blinks, which is wonderful. She's been looking at her caretakers, working away for her. Yeah, do you hear Teresa talking to you? And I think just a great moment to connect with a wonderful cat who's joined an amazing place here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. And for us to give her that forever home, well, it's all thanks to you, everyone. So, Miss Erin, you enjoy the rest of your day. I certainly know you will. I'm looking forward to how you do with the cheetah boys. And thank you to anyone who's considering taking Erin under their wing as a sponsor parent. It's very generous of you, and it's just a very effective thing to do for Erin, and something that we can never overstate how effective it is and how much we appreciate it. So thank you to those for taking that into consideration. And hey, have a great weekend too, everyone. And we'll see you back here on Monday at the Wildcat Sanctuary. See you then.